Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, the #1 Vikings fan extraordinaire, Adam Boyer. Today, we are back yet again, as I pretty much always say, and it's just going to be a pretty short video today, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. We are discussing the firing of Scott Turner from the Commanders. Turner was fired January 10th, so just yesterday.
You're fired.
And, yeah, I'm not going to say I was surprised to see it happen, but it was, I don't know, I was a little bit surprised. I looked back at some of the numbers, and we didn't do as well, maybe quite as much. I knew we weren't great offensively, but I thought we had some things going, especially with Heineke under center. But looking back, this season, our offense was 20th in yards and 26th in points. And obviously, yards don't matter that much if you're getting a lot of points, and we did neither. That was not great performance. Last season, Turner's second season, was his best year, the offense's best year. We were 21st in yards and 23rd in points. So yeah, his best season, we didn't even crack top 20 in yards or points, the two main offensive categories. That's not a very good showing. Yeah, so I definitely see why they let him go. It was also reported that there's possibly a conflict in the ideas they had for the offense and the team. And by they, I mean Scott Turner and Ron Rivera. It seemed Turner wanted a more vertical passing scheme, throw the ball deep, kind of like why they brought in Carson Wentz, whereas Ron Rivera wanted a more power-based running scheme. We saw that when they were running over and over with Brian Robinson and substituting Antonio Gibson in for him. It seemed to be working, and they kind of got away from that as the season got near the end. But yeah, so that was a conflict there. And of course, quarterback issues haven't helped the offense at all. We have not found our franchise quarterback, really haven't had a great quarterback since Kirk Cousins. And so they haven't helped, but that's not necessarily the main issue. I imagine in Week 17, Scott Turner, especially hearing that report about him wanting a more vertical passing scheme, I imagine Scott Turner probably had a lot of input in Week 17 in benching Heineke and putting Carson Wentz in and then not benching him at all. During the Browns game, that was a very disappointing game, of course, and we lost that. The Packers beat the Vikings, and we got kicked out of the playoffs as a result. So that was extremely unfortunate, but I imagine that was probably part of the reason that Turner ended up getting the boot, probably not making great decisions, and his play calling certainly got very monotonous at times. He would get stuck in the same groove of calling when he called running plays, calling the same sort of running play over and over. It was to a point where I could look when the Commanders lined up in a certain formation, I could tell when they were going to run the ball. And if I can tell, defensive coordinators and defensive coaches can tell. And of course, there were some trick plays, some creativity in there, especially with Curtis Samuel. I did like to see that as I guess Turner got more confident and comfortable and got more playmakers in the offense over the past couple years. He started doing more trick plays, especially with guys like Curtis Samuel, and I love to see that. That was one thing I always thought he had going for him, but yeah, so apparently Rivera, well, I'm sure when the trick plays worked, they were applauded, and passing certainly has a place and time. I think Rivera wanted to go more of a power running game, as we saw with Robinson, and I just don't think that's the way Turner wanted to do it, resulting in that conflict. And of course, yeah, our offense really does have a lot of talent. We've got a very good receiver core in Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson. Tight end, John Bates and Logan Thomas, pretty decent. Not top tier, but pretty decent. Offensive line, not good during the earlier part of the season, but after we started playing Heineke, they got much better, and Heineke helped them out, of course, and we started running the ball more. That's obviously where they excel, with Leno, Norwell, Tyler Larson played a lot of the year at center, even though Chase Roulier is our starter. Then Trey Turner and Wes Schweitzer kind of alternated at right guard. Sam Cosme and I think it was Schweitzer again kind of alternated at right tackle. Maybe it was Cornelius Lucas. But yeah, and of course running backs, lots of talent. And then Heineke, he's a good bridge quarterback. With all the talent we had on that offense, we should have had 9 or 10 wins, and probably would have if we had had Heineke starting the whole year and would be the 7 or 6 seed. But, yeah, so let me know what y'all think about Scott Turner being fired. I know a lot of people wanted it to happen. I wasn't really sure what I wanted. But let me know what y'all think. Go down to those comments and let me know. I'm always reading your comments. I love to read them. And I hope you enjoy, hearing back from me in the comments. I'll reply a lot of the time. As always, folks, thank you for watching. Sorry we couldn't make the playoffs this year, but hey, there is always next year. Maybe we can get DeAndre Hopkins. Who knows? Probably making a video about that soon. A little teaser there. As always, I'm the Viskins fan. I'm out of here. See y'all later.